All right, good evening, everybody. We're going to start the meeting tonight with a public hearing. So an application has been filed by Badger Land Survey LLC on behalf of Dennis Gage for rezoning of 1.817 acre parcel of land identified as part of parcel 0700771K from A agricultural to R2 residential 1 and 2 family. Does anybody wish to speak in favor of this application? Does anybody wish to speak in favor?
One correction, it's James Shennick's land you're talking about.
And Jim, can you just state your name and address for the record, please?
James Shennick, 5031 Griffith Avenue.
And what is the correction?
Then you had listed as Dennis.
Oh, yes, Jenna had done
Dennis
the
bought
public
the land
hearing.
back.
Yeah, we did have it, made sure that it was okay, as is Jason Grudenberg worked with our attorney, so. The resolution itself that I did, I left your name off of it, so. The actual document you have
It's just a parcel.
will have, yes, it says on behalf of Badgerland or whatever it says. So
Okay.
Jason approved it also.
Okay. Thank you for that, though. Third time, anybody wish to speak in favor? We'll call in, does anybody wish to speak against the application? Second time, anybody wish to speak against? And third time, anybody wish to speak against? If not, we will close the public hearing at 6:01. All right, then we will kick off the Grand Rapids Town Board meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll approve the agenda for the meeting. Anybody have any changes or things to the agenda? Seeing none, we will go on to number 3, approve the minutes of the December 3rd special town board meeting. Do you want to do those 2 separate ones? And the December 10th town board meeting.
I was so moved.
Thank you, Bill.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We will move on to public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. Note, the board will also take comment from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during public comment. Please note that once the board begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. Does anybody wish to address the board? Okay. And we'll move on to the monthly reports from the department. We'll start with the fire department.
Evening, board and residents. We're currently staffed with 44 members for fire and EMS. We're always looking for motivated individuals for fire and EMS. Stop by the fire station or contact the fire department if you have any interest in serving your community. For the month of December, the department responded to 59 calls for service, consisting of the following. We had 45 EMS calls, which compared to 43 last year. We had 14 fire calls compared to 14 last year at this time. 8 of those calls were in Grand Rapids, 2 were in Saratoga, 0 in Grant. 3 of those calls were mutual aid. The mutual aid calls were with Beer and Rudolph in the Adams Fire District. We had a false alarm, a rescue, 3 motor vehicle accidents, a gas leak smell, 1 wildland, 1 vehicle fire, and 3 lift assists. Training information, the training for the month, the EMRs finished up their EMR refresher with Mid-State Technical College at United Ambulance. All the medics and the EMTs, they're working on their own refreshers. On the fire side, we went over some standard operating procedures and then did a truck familiarization exercise with all the equipment in the trucks, and also did some wall breach exercises. So The department held 1 monthly meeting, 3 training meetings, 1 officer meeting, 1 drone meeting. So I got our call summaries done for 2025. 156 calls for fire, that's twice what we were doing 10, 15 years ago. And 420 EMS calls, those continue to climb as well. I remember a few years ago when we hit 275 one year, and I thought that's crazy. We had 420 EMS calls, so it's not, the demand from the public is there. Public relations, we participated in the Wood County Sheriff's Department Canine Procession, participated in the Christmas Food Basket Program with Wisconsin Rapids Fire, Beer and Fire, Rudolph Fire, and I omitted Saratoga First Responders were in on that program as well. Sorry about that, I didn't have that noted. We also held an in-house fundraiser for Best Christmas Ever and donated, there was, after I typed this, that was actually 500 to their cause. We also hosted a 2-day Versity blood drive over at the station. This time of year we didn't, we'll get going now on smoke detectors. Sign program's pretty dead over the winter. I got 1 order. And there are no injuries to report for the month of December. Questions from the board? All right.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Move on to police department.
Good evening. I realized I did not tally up all last year's, I think I was gonna say that for the annual report. But I did include the sheet with the breakdown of all the calls, January through December. But for the month of December, we had 337 calls for service, 18 traffic citations, 4 ordinance citations, 4 written warnings, 9 arrests. Officer Kubishek participated in Shop with a Cop 2025, 23 children were paired with 23 law enforcement officers. We appreciate her volunteering for that. That's on her own time. Also in December, she participated in the Police Lights of Christmas handoff event. She's been pretty active in this group. Last year, they raised over $300,000 to be distributed in gift cards to 115 police departments across Wisconsin to distribute to those in need within their respective communities. Best Christmas Ever also, it's a nationwide nonprofit. There was one in the town of Grand Rapids this year. Our PD Auxiliary helped with gifts for the kiddos and all the gift cards through the auxiliary programs, Helping Hands program. The fire department passed the boot around at their annual party, raising $500, so thank you, Bob. And then a number of employees are actively involved in that nonprofit of our town employees that donated monies and gifts for the families as well as help with these fundraisers. So that's it. Any questions for December? No? Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Treasurer's report.
All right, for the month of December, our everyday checking account ended with a balance of $105,127.57. With the repo account to go with that, $19,094.59. Our money market at Prevail had a balance of $352,808.47. Our tax account had a balance of $1,225,890.07. With the repo to go with that, $3,973,349.38. For a total balance in those accounts, $5,676,270.08. We had $96,942.51 in outstanding checks. So a total cash on hand at the end of December, $5,579,327.57.
Thank you. And Public Works.
Good evening, everybody. From December 10th meeting till today, we've been out 21 times with multiple rain events, snowstorms, pretty much going through, well, including November, going through most of a season's worth of salt. and probably more sand than we've gone through in the last 5 years. We've had, between the 3 trucks, we've been out a total of 4,692 miles. The 2017 Freightliner has broke down twice, pretty good breakdowns. Our 2025 truck has had 2 warranty issues fixed, minor. We've also spent 2 days, Jake was over, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but painting in the meeting room here for us, along with help from Amanda. We've also picked up around 200 Christmas trees, with that coming to an end of them being placed out on Friday here. And we've got to patch holes one day due to weather, so where it was dry enough we could patch. Pretty much what we've been up to for the last month. So, thank you.
Alright, moving on to agenda item 6, consideration and possible action on resolution 2026-01, the request to rezone 1.817 acre parcel of land identified as part of parcel number 0700771K, property address of 5031 Griffith Avenue, from agricultural to R2 residential 1 and 2 family.
And Jenna did tell me this past Monday night at Plan Commission with no changes. So the resolution that you have in front of you, there's no adjustments or anything to it. So I was not there. I don't know if you had any input, but I
Is
just know
anybody
that,
here to give the report of last night?
from
Of
Monday night.
Monday nights?
I have not spoke to Jenna since Monday, other than to know this past. I have the agenda.
Oh, okay,
I have
okay.
it.
I was at the meeting last night.
Okay.
I mean, Monday. But I do have some questions on it, but there's nobody here to really answer them. Like the gentleman that left here, I wish he would have stayed, because the person that filed this was because this was brought up at the meeting, so I'm not saying anything that wasn't brought up at the meeting last night. But this was filed by the surveyor. No. And against the Jason's Hohenberg's, he asked him not to do it. And one of the reasons is, if you'll notice this is lot 2 of this survey that we all got a copy of. That's going to, if anybody builds a house on there, they're not allowed a driveway. And the reason they're not allowed a driveway is because the county, it's on a county road. And they won't be able to get a driveway. It'll have to be shared by the person that owns lot 1, because lot 1 does have a driveway. And that's why there can't be another driveway within that many feet. So, I mean, that's the question. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-01. But there was a lot of discussion, and I don't, he was on it. I think if we have any questions, it would be appropriate if we allowed.
Sure.
Do you have anything to say about it?
Do we, well, go ahead, Bill.
Douglas Kiesling, 5410 Wet Rock Avenue. There was a lot of discussion on this because the 66-foot wide strip of land will not be allowed to have a driveway. So essentially the 5.7 acres, I think it was, is essentially going to be unusable land unless they get a variance from the county, which is highly unlikely. Now the motion doesn't have anything to do with that piece of property. The one thing that came out of that meeting is Jenna's going to make a recommendation that for any future building permits, that we check and make sure that they have a county driveway permit taken out. So if someone doesn't try to build a house and then claim they have a house and put a driveway in later, But the recommendation is only for that small piece of land, which there's no issues in the comprehensive plan. That area is zoned residential already, so there doesn't have to be any change to the comprehensive plan. And it certainly can't be agricultural because it doesn't meet the 5-acre limit, so it does have to be changed to R2. But, yeah, unfortunately, that piece of property, the gentleman that is purchasing it is claiming he's never gonna build a house on it, but, 20 years from now, when that change hands, I think someone's gonna be a little disappointed. So we just wanna put a safeguard in there about making sure people hold driveway permits.
So I did make a
So
motion.
we do have a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Amber. I guess got one more question for you, if you can answer. Did this pass, or was the recommendation from planning commission unanimous?
It was.
It was, okay. Any further discussion on the matter? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Agenda item number 7, consideration and possible action on event permit for Southwood County Humane Society 5K9 walk run on May 9th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thanks, Todd. Any further discussion?
I just have a question. So we're motioning to approve it with the approval of being able to use the golf cart or UTV?
I guess that's the one question I had too
Yeah.
on this. Is that common for them to take
I
for an
don't,
event like this?
I don't know if they did that last year or not, but they wrote that this year, and I just looked it up, and the county parks ordinance, which we adopt, requires either the county Parks and Forestry Committee or the director of Parks and Forestry to approve that. So as long as that person approves it, I have no problem with them doing it.
So do they know they need to go to the county for approval?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't contact them.
I would assume so,
Your
just because
letter
they've
was
been
in the
doing
thing.
this for quite a few years.
I put the letter with the permit, but I don't know if that goes back to them.
So I will send Southwood County Humane Society, I will send them a copy of what we have here, so they should know.
Okay.
No, I'll mention something to the Parks Committee too.
Oh,
Okay. So we have a motion and a second.
yep.
Any further discussion on the matter? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We've got number 8, consideration and possible action on board members attending the 2026 WTA district meetings.
And just a note on this, and I did get your email, and that was just my note that at least one member does have to attend this every year. Bill has reached out, he is for sure attending. If anybody else wants to, you don't have to let me know right now, but Bill is for sure.
You just have 10 days before it,
Yeah.
otherwise the price goes
Yep.
up.
Mhm. So the Stevens Point one is,
February 27th.
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, so we've got,
Yeah.
we've got some time, but if you are interested, just make sure you let me know ahead of
Yes,
time.
Tim. Yeah, well, I've attended this every year, but it's a good meeting to attend. You can learn a lot there. We don't have very many that go to that, and I think it's good training, so.
So do you just want to know do you want a certain date?
Yes, if we,
By next meeting? Or is that too late? I guess that'd be the 27th.
our next meeting, no, that would be okay, if 10 days, yeah, we could, as long as I know by the next meeting, that would be fine.
Okay, so just make sure, if you think about it, there's also the virtual option to
Mhm.
attend. A little bit different agenda wise, but half a day
And you don't get the material
on the, okay.
On the virtual, you don't?
on the virtual.
Oh,
So just let Lisa know before the next board meeting. All right, number 9, consideration and do we need to We don't need to approve
No.
it, though, right?
No.
Okay. Consideration and possible action on Public Works Committee's recommendation to town board for a letter to Wood County regarding tree cutting. So in your packet, you've got the draft meeting minutes from the January 8th meeting, plus a draft of a letter from the town to Sheriff Becker.
I will make a motion for discussion only, but that don't mean I'm gonna vote for it, okay?
And so you're making a motion to approve?
Approve.
Okay, I will second that for discussion purposes, so. Did you wanna kick it off, Bill?
Well, this is, they shouldn't carry chainsaws in their car, is that it? And I just think if the sheriff needs to cut down a tree, or they get called out, or there's an accident, I think they should be able to cut it down, and I don't think we need any notice to the sheriff's department about this. That's my thought. That we say, hey, you gotta notify us, you know, that you're cutting down a tree. It could be at 3 o'clock in the morning, and what good is that gonna do?
I guess my feeling is, you know, if, and I guess, Joe, I got a question for you. So Wood County Sheriff has jurisdiction over all of our roads, correct, within the town?
Throughout the whole county, yeah.
Right, but I mean, your jurisdiction and their jurisdiction in Grand Rapids kind of overlays each other.
Exactly.
So if they come across something, standpoint, they clear the road, but then they notify the town to say, this needs to be cleaned up in the morning or whenever, but we need to get traffic going. If there's another incident, the other side of the county or something happening, there's a limited number of officers working, especially at night, that I don't think we wanna tie up an officer for half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it would take. Now, I know we can say it's gonna be here in 15 minutes, but that's 15 minutes. In that 15 minutes, an officer likely could cut that tree enough to get out of there and keep moving to where they need to go.
I disagree with the comment over that the county shouldn't have to report anything. That's the whole reason this was brought up, is because an instance, this was not communicated with the town. And then we have residents calling about, what are you gonna do with this tree that's in my yard, and so on. So whoever cuts it needs to communicate with our town that it can be disposed of or taken care of in a timely manner.
So couldn't this be more of just a conversation with the sheriff's department, letting them know that Public Works wants to be notified after the tree's cut?
I think so.
That's it. I mean, if I may have a second chance. I mean, my remark to that is the remarks I heard about why this should be. Because we could come out anytime, we're available 24 hours a day, and we get cut out of money for doing that. You know, those kind of comments, and the police said, well, get some. I think that what should have happened here is the board should have met, or the committee should have had a meeting, the Public Works Committee should have had a meeting and discussed this with the,
What did we have last week, Bill?
and this was it. You had the sheriff there?
I think you guys met with the sheriff prior, right? Or you and Mike and Joe?
Joe did. Yeah, I heard about that meeting, but it wasn't a town meeting as far as I'm concerned.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I sorry, I
Sure.
just have a question then. So if the discussion's already been had, why do we have to have a letter?
I think that is, well, I don't
That was
speak.
I think Sheriff Becker was just asking for clarification on how to proceed with, there was a lack of communication on his part, he admitted that. You know, like Jason had said, tree goes down, gets cleaned, or cut up, opens the road, and then Mike gets a call that you guys gonna come and clean this up, which he doesn't know that this tree was cut up. I guess a lack of communication is what it is.
That was reported that to me that the sheriff just requested
Yeah.
something in writing
That's what he wanted.
for approval's sake, I guess.
All right, any further discussion on this one? So the motion we have in front of us is to approve the letter that's going to Sheriff Becker. That's attached to agenda item 9, just so everybody's clear. So all those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Nay. All right, motion fails.
And I have notified the sheriff's department about this, and they will make sure that that happens.
So
Communicate,
Yeah, the
the
communication.
communication.
do we want something official from the town? Can we make that motion now? I mean, I guess I would want more of a formal communication from Public Works.
From Public Works.
So I guess I'll make a motion for a letter drafted for Public Works to basically ask for better communication when these instances happen, that they communicate. If a tree is cut down, to communicate that in a timely fashion.
So who do you want them to call them at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I mean, I guess if the road is clear, they don't necessarily have to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, but they need to let somebody know in that morning. I mean, I would say the next morning, if the road is clear and they see it, that it's not a hazard at this point.
If I can just add, so a Grand Rapids officer is always gonna be dispatched, even if it's a county road, state road, whatever. If we're busy, sheriff, they'll send a sheriff if we're tied up on another call. If they're busy, they might send Rapids. But dispatch, my point is dispatch logs all this for every agency in the county, it's the same dispatch. They can easily send an email to Public Works when any department happens to do that on a town road. It's just a matter of an email, and if they don't have Mike's email, I'll make sure they do.
So are we good with basically the motion is that we are emailed if this happens on a town road?
We don't have a second?
That's my motion.
Your motion, so not drafting a letter, just to.
It's drafting a letter saying that
Oh.
if a tree is cut out of the right of way
To
in the town of Grand
communicate.
Rapids, to communicate
To
via
communicate
email or phone
To who?
to Public Works.
To Public Works, okay.
Okay,
That's my motion.
that's my second.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that?
Can we ask for both, a phone call and an email?
Do we need both? I mean,
I would assume these instances are rare.
Right,
If they're gonna be
yeah.
doing this, and maybe it wouldn't hurt to ask. They can always say no, but I guess we can ask. So I will
email
amend,
and a phone call.
I will amend my motion to say phone call, an email followed with a phone call the next business day.
Thank
So
you.
next day?
So what's the matter with the sheriff's department reporting that to the police department here? You know what I mean, but we got officers on, they have officers, we have officers.
We do.
And why can't that just be reported and then, is it a lack of communication? You know,
That's an easy way to handle it. Just report it to us and we can send it to Mike if that's what you want.
I'm sure that would have happened, but there was a complete lack of communications here. You know what I mean, and didn't notify you people either.
Are we comfortable with Wood County, or in the case, well, nobody else really carries chainsaws.
No, we would call streets.
Yeah,
Public Works.
if it happened on our, they weren't there. So are we okay if they contact the police and the police contacts Mike? I mean, it's another step, but
What do you think, Joe? Yeah?
I mean, if it's easy to do. Dispatch typically for like other townships, they will send emails out if there's an issue that's not urgent. They'll send an email to, a lot of towns just have a chairman. So dispatch does that, they're perfectly capable of doing that.
it's one less communication piece to, it just goes to Mike. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna stick with my amended motion then,
To have an email and phone call to PW.
to PW, the next day, yeah. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No opposed.
Okay. Motion carries 4-1. Number 10, discussion and possible action on Public Works Committee's recommendation to town board on the Public Works capital outlay items budgeted for 2026. Jason, do you wanna kinda talk about this one?
Sure. Basically what happened here was Mike received quotes for items that he had on his capital wish list, and one of them was replacing of the tractor. The tractor then had a price increase, and what he is asking for is permission to still buy the tractor, but eliminate other items that he had on his capital list to make up the difference in the cost of the tractor.
Can I answer that?
Sure can.
So, just because I don't know what the price on the new tractor, so originally we had a total of $49,400 for the 4 items. The tractor was $43,200. What is the new price on the tractor? I don't have that.
50.
50 even?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
50 even as if on a new tractor, so.
They were knocking $2,000 off of it actually, so.
Now, is that though, then we're still selling it and getting that 15,000 surplus, or is that with a
Yep.
trade-in?
No, that's without the trade-in.
Okay,
That's the outright price.
okay.
So our proposed selling price could go towards that deficit then? Is that okay, or?
So, no.
Because that's gonna be asked.
No, because
Right,
we
okay.
budgeted for the 15,000 revenue, so if
Okay.
he's doing the 50,000 tractor
It's gonna have to
instead of
come
the
out of something
49.
else.
Well, the $600 difference is all that would have to come out of somewhere else. If he
Yeah.
doesn't purchase the other 3 things, it would just be 600 that
Okay.
could come from ENS or something.
Okay.
But since he,
Go ahead.
since he lists the other things, why can't that 600 be listed?
I don't think he has anything else other than the traffic cones and the weight limit signs.
Everything else is removed, Bill.
Yeah, he's not gonna purchase the other things, so he would only purchase the tractor for 50,000 instead of the tractor and these other things for 49,400. So ultimately, it's gonna be $600 more than what was budgeted, but he's getting 1 item instead of 5. Right?
Yep.
Does that make sense? But then we'll still get the surplus from, for the revenue for selling it, which we budgeted at 15,000, obviously.
So do we need to find the 600?
No, I mean, it's not enough that, and we usually have a little bit left in capital, so that's fine. If you guys were good with it, you can just do the change in items.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Do we need anything else from PW on that then?
Do you have anything official that shows the 50,000, like an actual quote?
I can, don't
Okay,
worry.
if you can get that to me for,
All right, so we have a motion.
I'll send you that.
Any further discussion?
Can we talk before discussion? Was that part of the thing before, or no?
now that we had discussion, no.
You just made the motion and there's discussion. I just have one
yes,
question. Do we bid out our items? That's the only thing I have. Do we bid out our equipment and what's the bid? Where do we, for different companies? That's what I'm wondering is, do we just automatically just go with one company or do we bid out our town stuff? That's my question.
Hold on a second, I'm reading. So you did not begin discussion, the motion was, my mind was over there. The motion was made and seconded, but no discussion has started? Okay.
No discussion.
Do
Motion.
you want me to answer that?
Yes.
Okay, so for equipment, things like that, no, that's all at budget time. The department heads submit their request. If the board approves it, then that's what comes to the public, as far as the tax levy, but then the actual budget itself is approved by the board at the December meeting. Equipment, we don't, there's certain things that have to go for bid, equipment, things like that, that's not one of them, so.
So we don't have a set dollar. So if it's 50,000, we gotta accept bids. If it's over 50,000, then we gotta take bids. We don't have that.
Not for
So we can
something
just
like,
buy whatever we want as long as it gets approved.
if
by
it's
us.
approved at budget time,
Right,
Budget
okay.
time.
if it's approved at budget.
That was my question. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, number 11, consideration and possible action on referendum planning. So this is the first time we're publicly talking about referendum, so I just want to say a little something. Our municipality is considering holding a referendum in 2026 to increase the tax levy for the town of Grand Rapids. State law requires voter approval for any increase beyond the statutory limit, ensuring transparency and giving residents a direct voice in financial decisions. As of today, the referendum requested increase or election timing are not set. To my knowledge, this is the first time our municipality has considered a referendum to exceed the tax levy, making it essential to clearly communicate the reasons and benefits to our residents. Additional revenue is needed to maintain our current services and improve aging infrastructure, while ensuring our town stays fiscally healthy with a positive fund balance so we can continue to plan for the future. To support this process, I'm forming an ad hoc committee to assist the board with different referendum tasks. One of this committee's goals will be to focus on education, outreach, and communication with our residents. This ad hoc committee will include any interested board members, the town clerk, and one community member, and Jan Peranto has agreed to serve in that role as a community member. Our goal with this committee is to ensure residents have the information they need to make a well-informed decision when they cast their vote at election time. So we're gonna start having ad hoc committee meetings. I'm hoping any board member that wants to be a part of it, I would like everybody to be a part of it if they can be. Obviously, we all bring something different to the table, but I think it's important that the board is on the same page and everybody understands the reasons for the referendum, why we're doing the referendum, and everybody backs what the referendum decisions are.
Can you tell us why, why you want this, or?
I think because of the amount of outreach and communication that we're gonna be having, I think to be able to work outside of a town board meeting, to be able to be a little more flexible, will benefit us. And you're gonna have multiple meetings where we're gonna be in communication with the public, particularly if this is a fall referendum question, through summer, that there might be several communications. That won't be an official board meeting at that point.
And
So I don't want to interrupt, but any official, the final say is with the board. Obviously, if
Yeah,
the
right,
board
right.
says the amount that we want to request, and the board's going to decide what election we decide to go for referendum, if ultimately that's the decision we decide.
And the public can come to any of those
Right.
meetings
And-
too, so.
Yes.
And we've heard that there's possibly going to be a school referendum also this year.
I believe they've already said one for sure,
Will
yes,
be
in April,
at least one.
yes. So we have 3 elections this year.
Yes.
The April deadline has passed, that we cannot do an April referendum, so that leaves us with August or November right now. So probably start in February to.
Yes, there's a lot of work involved and we have to get attorney involved in all of that, so there's, especially if you'd be looking at August for sure, but either way, it should start.
I would like to be part of that committee.
I appreciate that, I'd like you a part of it, Bill.
I will also.
Thank you. Okay.
To be done.
All right.
And yourself.
I will be on too, yes. So, I guess we'll start coming up with some times, but we'll probably start in February and start having some meetings. It'd be nice if we could have a meeting prior to the February board meeting, so we can at least make a recommendation. Sure. I guess we'll see, so. Okay, there's a packet of information just for your reference. Just kind of some referendum documentation, so you can kind of start reading it, since none of us have really gone through the referendum question before, that you can kind of familiarize yourself a little bit with the information out there.
And just one question, and I think I heard it mentioned here, but the fact is that we're having a reval, and reval, your numbers aren't in until the complete reval is done. Although they come and revalued your house this year, don't mean that that's the value you're gonna pay taxes on, correct?
It's a two-year
It's
reval
right.
this
Two
year.
years.
So it'll be in 2027 would be.
Okay. So no other discussion on that? So we have December disbursement vouchers. Any questions on any of the disbursement vouchers? If there aren't any, we'll move to the operator license applications.
And just the note, you have a denial again too, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the approval of the three people and a denial of the looking one.
Second.
That's fine.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Move on to monthly committee reports. Public Works. Anything else to add other than the?
No, we covered our public works, and hopefully that one's put to bed. Airport committee met on the 8th of this month, I'm sorry. Again, the boring obstruction removal that I always talk about is finally in its last phases. There should be, those trees should be starting to see removed this winter yet. That's phase one of a removal. And what the obstruction removal is trees that are too tall around the airport, or anything that's too tall around the airport. With more and more traffic coming in and out of our airport, increased visibility is requested and so on. It's way over my head, but basically it's tall trees need to be cut. Master plan update is by the BOA, Bureau of Aeronautics. They talk about government moving slow. It's Wisconsin BOA is really bad, in my opinion. Some runway maintenance needs to be also taken care of next year, some crack filling and paint striping. Again, that's in the BOA's hands. They have had some runway lighting issues, and there's a contract for Marshfield working on that. As we speak, they're looking at getting some quotes to replace phased out lighting. Some of that stuff is so old out there that parts aren't available for it, and so on. There's been 2 new hangar lease agreements signed for hangar properties out at the airport. And the master plan committee is looking for some sponsor-only funding for some terminal design changes that all, that again, go with that master plan and then the terminal upgrades, you know, some slight remodeling and so on. The airport commission needs to decide whether the cost gathered by consulting and the BOA, and costs that will be gathered by the consulting firms and the BOA need to be reported by the next meeting. Future agenda items were just what I was talking of, the terminal design, and then some audio-visual issues that we continue to have there with sound and so on. No public comment, no correspondence. February 5th is the next meeting.
I just have a question.
Go ahead, Bill.
So when it comes to the tree removal, there's a lot of Grand Rapids residents around there, so if I have 12 trees, if it gets cut down, but it costs me, the homeowner?
No. Not that I'm aware of, no. And there are no Grand Rapids residents that are being cut right now. I believe they're all City of Wisconsin Rapids at the moment. They're all
Okay.
basically,
All right, recycling and solid waste, we have not met, but I know we do need to meet prior to April.
Yes,
May.
actually, probably should meet fairly soon because it needs to get worked out, the ordinance, and then be approved by April, so
So,
should meet fairly soon.
okay, I'll touch base with you, Bill, we'll find a time to meet on that. Plan commission, we have
Oh,
the
yes.
agenda here.
Yes, so there was obviously the rezone from the public hearing this morning, or, I'm sorry, earlier today, wow. Annual chicken permits, annual dog exemption permits, discussion of annual reports for the upcoming April meeting, and discussion of 52.7 sign ordinance, which I believe is the electronic variable sign they were talking about, I believe. And that was it. Yes, I think from, they're looking at doing some revisions for this.
And if I may just, I think one of the things that is what the plan commission did do, I think that should be publicized about who has chicken permits and who has dog permits.
I think that's all public record if somebody
It's all
wanted,
public
right?
record, but, you know, it was a report really from the plan commission. I just, instead of people having to call up here and say, my neighbor's got a dog, do they have a permit or not? If you could just tell them to go to the internet and they can look themselves. I know a lot of people won't call, but they'll just let the dogs or the chickens go on.
Let me say something. As far as the dogs go, there's personal information on our dog program, like phone numbers and stuff, which shouldn't be given out or accessible to the public without. And we do over 600 dogs, so we're supposed to let the public have access to our records. I mean, that's why they call in.
I agree.
I mean, I don't want people, if they hear my dog barking, going and calling me up at 10 o'clock at night saying, hey, your dog's barking.
I personally applied for an exemption years back, and your neighbors are notified. The people that need to know already know.
And same as for the
Same with
chicken
chickens.
Same
permits
as
too.
chickens.
They're here to come to the meeting. That's why they're notified if they wanna come to the meeting or not.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Public buildings. Okay. Legislative,
Probably after recycling and solid waste looks at the ordinance, and then maybe after plan commission is done with their sign revisions too, we could look at that we've already done at one.
Possibly may have that mailbox.
that might be a request, yeah.
So maybe Marchish we'll probably look at, so that in April we can approve the things.
Public safety,
Did not.
economic development, we didn't meet. Personnel, didn't meet, probably need to. Soon.
And, yes. Did we, or, no, you guys didn't. It will be, yeah, at the end of the month, we'll have to set a date.
WTA meeting.
Well, there was no December WTA meeting, but the meeting will be held at the Pittsville Community where it starts. And it's at the community center, and it's Friday night at 6:30 it starts. And the speakers will be, State Patrol will be there and Focus on Energy. And Allied Corporation will be there, so I find it very interesting, and there's very little attendance at those meetings. I remember 15 years ago us fighting to save towns because they were gonna take them away, and you had to be a village. Yeah. I just wish more people would attend from here, because this is where the Towns Association started, is in the town of Grand Rapids.
Bill, didn't a couple months ago, didn't you say that you guys had voted to have them on Thursday nights instead of Friday nights at the beginning of the year? Did
No.
you?
No, there used to be a church or organization. One of the towns would only have it on Thursday night because they would not have it on the Friday when it was due. Could be done up there, so when it's our turn, we gotta cater or take all that stuff up there. So,
Reports from individual town board members. Bill, you got anything else to add?
no.
Okay. Todd?
No.
Jason? Nothing. So, future agenda items?
Can I suggest this future agenda?
Of course.
No more May. Could we put that on the agenda for discussion?
We should put it on for discussion, sure. Do you want that on February's?
Oh, I'm gonna mow in February.
If not, so-
For February, okay.
All right. Anything else anybody want to add for future agenda items coming up? All right, if not, just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Which one was first, Jason? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason,
Jason.
got a second from Bill. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.